Alrighty guys, we're back for some Gruul enchantments, and this is a Dominaria United Standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. That being said, as far as Gruul decks go, this one's probably leaning towards the janky side of things, but I still think there's some power here for sure. Either way, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you guys. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you want to join that up. Okay, we got 4 Hammerhands, 4 Kumano faces Kakkazan, and 4 Generous Visitor. Powerful 1-drops here. Hammerhand is going to do a whole lot in a Gruul enchantment style build. Also have a Shivan Devastator, which we don't want to count as a 1-drop. I really don't know where to put this. I'm going to slap it over here for now. Got 4 Cemetery Gatekeepers. I actually struggled to find the perfect 2-drop for this build, and I don't know if Gatekeeper is actually that card. I think the first strike on here is going to be really good, especially with all the cards that we're going to be able to slap counters on this with. So like Generous Visitor counters going onto Gatekeeper happens to be pretty powerful because first strike is just really good. Now, when Gatekeeper enters the battlefield, you get to exile a card from a graveyard. Whenever a player plays a land or casts a spell, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, Cemetery Gatekeeper deals 2 damage to that player. So this could be good with all the mono blue running about, potentially, right? I really don't know the best way to play around mono blue, but I do know the ones that we're seeing in ranked happen to care how many instants and sorceries are in their grave, and I think being able to take one out and then every time they cast a counter spell, have this deal 2 damage to them, that seems pretty good. So we'll see if Gatekeeper is what we want in here. We got 3 Kami's Flare. It's just great removal that can also ping the face. We have a very, very tiny little modified theme going on in here so that the Kami's Flare can actually work. So, got 4 Kami of Transience. You guys know the power of this card. If there's ever an enchantment build, then I'm probably squeezing Kami of Transience into it, you know? We got 3 Roaring Earths. So 2 mana enchantment, and when a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. It also has a channel ability on here too, where you can pay X in double green, discard Roaring Earth, put X +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature with haste. It's still a land, so you're not going to use that channel ability too often, but honestly, you never know. If you're really late into the game and the opponent just happened to devastate your board and you just need that last little bit of damage, then maybe this channel ability will actually come into play. There's some seriously powerful lines of play in this front end of the build, guys. Like a turn 1 Visitor and a turn 2 Roaring Earth, and then a turn 3 Kami of Transience with Hammerhand. Like, just all of that, like, that's actually insane. I don't know how much power that is on the board, but it's a lot of power. So we got some 3-drops here too. We got 3 Curse of Hospitalities, and this was a suggestion over in the Discord to try to get Curse of Hospitality in a deck that works well with it. And I tried a couple different things, and I think this one's actually going to be the most powerful for Curse of Hospitality, so we might try some other builds with this in the future too. 3 mana enchantment, Aura Curse. You enchant a player. Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample, so there are going to be a ton of ways to have trample swinging at your opponent with this deck. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, that player exiles the top card of their library. Until end of turn, that creature's controller may play that card, and they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. So this is actually really cool with cards like Roaring Earth, because maybe you're not seeing land on your side. Maybe you're swinging on in, getting that trample damage through, and even if you hit a land off of your opponent, that's pretty cool because you can play that land and then have the Roaring Earth put a counter on something. That's pretty neat. And then what could you do with all that extra mana that you're hitting with it? Well, just cast cards from your opponent's deck too. Speaking of extra mana, guys, we got 3 Kodama of the West trees here. So modified creatures you control have trample. Very nice. The 3 mana 3/3 with reach. Don't forget the reach, by the way. That could block things like the Phoenix chick that's flying about everywhere right now. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So again, those extra lands activate the Roaring Earth, which is awesome. And then you can spend all that extra mana that you're getting off of Kodama to maybe cast stuff from the opponent's deck, which just seems like it'll be pretty cool. I hope we actually get to see that come into play today. We got 4 Fable of the Mirror Breakers, and I actually was trying to build this without Fable. I just think it's just kind of too important. The fact that you get to cycle through your deck, look for something better, but then also the more important thing for this deck in particular is actually just getting a couple creatures out of this, because overall there's not too many creatures. I guess there's a lot of creatures, but no matter what, you want creatures on the board with this deck, so that way you can continue to buff them off the Roaring Earth or your other cards as well. So, or just have a target for Hammerhand, for example. So getting 2 goblins out of this card is pretty awesome. Reflection doesn't have too many great targets to copy, but it could do a thing here and there. You never know. In the mana base, we do have a Crucible, a Who Endures, hopefully a good balance between green and red. We got the new Pain land here, and of course the Rockfall Vale. So the Shivan Devastator, something else to note is, yeah, with all that extra mana off of Kodama, or maybe you're casting mana from your opponent's deck, then the Devastator could eventually slam down pretty powerful, so that could be cool. Honorable mentions, guys, a ton of them, because Gruul has so much power. Radha's Firebrand might be better than Gatekeeper. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like find a good balance. I'm trying to figure out the meta in general, honestly. So maybe you don't have the Gatekeepers. You could totally try out the Radha's Firebrand instead of the Gatekeepers, right? Sprouting Goblin could be pretty cool. If you kick this card, you get like a land to your hand. And that could be good with like Roaring Earth. I don't know, it seems pretty alright. And then you do get extra mana from Kodama, and at the bottom here you can pay a red, tap it, sack a land, and draw a card. So you never know when that would actually come into play, but a little janky for what I was going for here, right? Like, I was trying to make like a Gruul build that was a little bit different. It might lean towards jank, but I still want it to be pretty powerful overall, so no Sprouting Goblin this time. Iconoclast is so good, guys. This is such a sick card, and the fact that it's uncommon makes me so happy. Couldn't find room for it this time, and the trample's not as important on here since we have Kami of Transience with trample. Kodama gives modified creatures trample. The Curse of Hospitality gives all of your attacking creatures trample, so we didn't need the trample on Iconoclast. So Jugan Defends the Temple is a pretty good card, and in past versions of Gruul enchantments we've played with like 4 Jugan Defends the Temple, but it's honestly better and more of a mid-range style shell where you actually get to ramp with the monk, but you don't have to ramp with the monk. You could always use it to just play multiple cards in one turn too, so I don't know, it depends. I skipped it this time round. Invigorating Hot Spring. Speaking of skipping, this card should probably be squeezed in the deck as at least a 1 of, but I wanted to make sure we saw Roaring Earth, so I didn't drop this down to 2, and I wanted to make sure we saw Curse of Hospitality, where this might only be a 1 or 2 of as well, honestly, and then maybe go up a couple Hot Springs, but we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts. Hot Spring's so good, guys, and in the right deck, it's so cool, man. Just giving something haste with it is sick. Other modified creatures have haste too, so like if you had a Kumano and you drop like a Kami of Transience, on the second stage of Kumano, of course, then of course that would also get haste off the Hot Spring, so just a very cool card. Thundering Raiju and Hallandale. I'm trying to stick to the actual spirit of the deck here. Gruul enchantments, not Gruul good stuff, right? So no Hallandale this time, and Thundering Raiju, of course, would work with the modified themed, or the small modified theme in here. Yeah, just not this time, but you guys know. You guys know how good they are, so. All right, let's go ahead, take this build into some ranked and see how we do. right into the first match. Let's go. Alright, opponent, what you bringing to the table for me? Honestly, this isn't the best hand. I'm gonna keep it because it's not the worst hand. We might draw a turn 2. I'm not gonna worry too much about the chapter 2 on Kumano. I think getting it down, making sure it flips as a creature as soon as possible is gonna be much better than worrying about chapter 2. Okay, another Kumano. Not terrible. Up against one of the mono blue builds, most likely. Rockin' the Delver. Do they flip it? I made the joke in the last video that they always flip it. No, stop it, opponents. Okay, well, this is going to be a problem because now they can keep that mana open. And now we got to worry about Make Disappear. They have the negate, so that hits Fable and Curse. So we'd have to attempt the Kodama, which I think we do, but we're kind of playing right into it, right? Essence Capture's a thing. Essence Scatter's a thing. I think Mono Blue would run the Capture, right? That's the double blue. We're kind of playing right into it is the problem. Maybe we hold off for one turn. Nah, and I'm gonna do it before we attack too. Although it wouldn't be the worst thing if Etching would have just hit like a Fading Hope, but I don't think they would do that. So Kodama hits. That is excellent, guys. So maybe it was just a Fading Hope. Consider. The negate might be their only... See, it could have been like a Syncopate for 1 too, so there's a lot of reasons to wait till next turn, but if you can get it to hit, then it might be enough. They might also just thought like, oh, we can let that hit because we have a Fading Hope next turn. We can just bounce their whole board if we have to. Right? The mono blue is very scary. Well, we're gonna try it. Nice. Oh no! Oh no, opponent! Opponent, no! The reach on Kodama. Oh man. Oh geez. Well, I'll take it, guys. That's like one of my first victories against Mono Blue, honestly. Because we don't always see it. We're seeing it like maybe one out of I don't know, maybe one out of every like 8 to 10 games, somewhere around there. And it's very easy to lose to, my goodness. So this hand's a little... Wait, is this the same person? Crap, I need to start looking at the opponent's names. Right, Kami of Transience, and then a turn 3 Kodama. Nope, not the same person. Okay, another Kodama. There's a reason we're only rocking 3 of them, because it is legendary. Keep the removal open most likely here. Oh no, they're gonna do it because I guess Gruul does run like Tamiyo safekeeping and stuff sometimes, so maybe hit it now. The red mana open could mean, well, yeah, let's see. So they do end up passing. So Kami of Transience isn't modified, and it doesn't get modified from the Kodama. So we're gonna swing first because something's up, guys. Something's fishy over there. Can take the 2. I guess the Kodama is probably gonna bite the dust, and I guess the double Kodama is not bad then. We do want to see some enchantments though. This hand is a little bit awkward. So they go for the Abrade on the Kami of Transience over the Kodama. Okay. So I wonder what we could draw here. This is a good example. Like Roaring Earth would be terrific because we could play the Roaring Earth and then drop our land. Oh, I forgot to go over that when we went over the deck. My Kami of Transience, you monster! Oh, guys, another land. Whew. Whew. That's pretty bad. Oh no, this is going to be an uphill battle, I think. Unlicensed Hearse, don't sleep on this card. We were just talking about all like the mono blue that cares about instants and sorceries. Some of you guys really like this card. I know, bring it up in the comments sometimes. A lot of good reasons to like this card, and like a mid-range style build too. Even maybe some control? I don't really know. I would slot this in as a 1 or 2 of in mid-range is what I would think, but Tithe Harvester. We could hit that. Let's see if we get a way to modify our creatures before, because we got a ton of mana. So let's just see what we draw. What's up, Kodama? I mean, at this point, guys, we might as well save the Kami of or the Kami's Flare and let them trade here. Like, why not? They also might not block, so let's do it. They might just take the 3. Or they might use removal on it. Yeah, Kodama of the West Tree. Alright. We'll let this trade happen. That's pretty funny, though. Yeah, you don't want 4 of them, because sometimes you'll only see Kodama. Oh, man. Yep, they're gonna hit that with the Unlicensed Hearse. West Tree might get taken out with their removal finally, but a cut down doesn't hit Kodama, which is pretty good. Make Disappear! Pay 2. Yeah, we'll tap out, so maybe they are trying to prevent like a Tamiyo safekeeping from happening. Oh, nice! Liliana, okay. So Kami's Flare. Let me think, guys, let me think, because we can discard the Mountain to the Liliana, or we could just play everything next turn, too. Kumano, hey, okay. That would have been nice early. We kind of had really awkward draws, didn't we? So Kumano takes out Liliana, that's good. They only have 1 mana, so we probably want to get the Kodama on the board and just save the Kami's Flare open, and hopefully we just draw a creature next turn then. I would assume that that's the best play, and we're gonna play this first. It's just a good habit to make sure you have 2 open mana, even though they only have 1 here. Just a good habit to get into with all the Make Disappears floating about. So Kami's Flare is open, so let's see what they end up doing here. But yeah, second Liliana is gonna drop and make Kodama die, I suppose. We probably still hit it with the Kami's Flare though, right? Right? No, I guess we hold off again. They have 2 mana open. All 3 Kodamas have been gobbled up by the Hearse here. Well, we'll have to wait till next turn for them to do that, but still. Alright, creature. No, that is not a creature, but the Who Endures hits the Hearse. They're gonna make us discard the Kami's Flare regardless, so we're gonna have to play that. But we'll play it after they activate the— wait, do we have— we can react to a Planeswalker loyalty ability, right? I hope so. I think I'm just gonna keep this all open, guys. I'm gonna keep it all open. I know they get to draw here and everything, but I want to make sure they get to hit Kodama. That Hearse is going bye-bye from the Who Endures, but there might be something better to hit too next turn. So I think keeping it all open, I think being patient here is probably for the best. Very awkward hands, but you know, and draws, but it happens. Definitely happens. And it might be the deck too. Like, you know, we got to keep playtesting it. Right, so we actually do get to respond to this. So we will go, we'll start with the Kami's Flare, sure. And then we'll go ahead and do the channel ability on the Who Endures. That way we're not discarding anything, but the opponent is, you know? I think that makes the most sense to me. Get that like unlicensed Hearse out of here too. They can still exile our grave, but at least now we know it's not going to power up and smack our face. We don't care about our grave in this deck. So now they're forced to discard. We do get the etching next turn. I'm trying to think of like what could we possibly do to get there against this build, or do we just eventually decide the opponent has probably controlled us enough and hop into some more games, you know? So make disappear, Sheoldred, yeah. That'll block the etching, and another land might just be it. So I'll play it, and we'll see what we draw next turn, but then we can totally give it to them. I think it would be safe to say let's get more matches in today, you know what I mean? Searching for more. Yeah, I really like the unlicensed Hearse here, opponent. Very cool. Let's see what we draw. Woo! That is a draw, dude. Holy cow. Now, how many make disappears are out? Only 2? The question is, do I just go all out? X is 6, or do I do X is 4 and play around a make disappear? I guess we'll play around, because... No, let's go all out. Here's why. This is the opponent's, man. Oh my goodness, I'm full swinging. Sheoldred's gonna beat us up a little bit, but like, that Devastator though. So I wanted to go, like, if we would have just played a 4/4 Devastator, like, it was still gonna be, like, the opponent's game. And so if we could get the 6/6 on the board, then just maybe we can get there. We're down to 2, another land, wow. I think there's only 23 land in the deck. Big problem, guys. They're gonna go back up to 8 here, so the Devastator still doesn't get us there. So like another Kami's Flare off the top would be good, but yeah, we flooded big time. We'll have to double check in the final thoughts to make sure we only have the 23 land. You do want 23 because like Roaring Earth does care. Oh, very nice. Very nice, opponent. The blitzing in the Tenacious Underdog, and that just kind of does it. Because we draw and take the 2. Good game. Oh, I actually want to drop the good game. They can't hear me. I gotta remember that. Drop favorite emote to make every loss worth it. That was sick. I think the Devastator... Like, the Devastator might be something to consider going up to 2 of because of how good it is to top deck later on. If you do end up flooding out, yeah, Devastator's just really good, isn't it? We talked about that in some other videos too. You're pretty much always happy to see it off the top. There's very few moments where, like, especially an aggro deck, and it's already gone into mid to late game. Like, when don't you want to see that off the top, you know what I mean? There's definitely some moments, but it's just such a good card, such a cool card. Alright, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Oh, good hand. Oh, yes. Excellent hand. What would make this hand better is... I guess we'll start with... Oh, Kami of Transience. Holy cow. Alright, how greedy do we get? Let's get greedy. Let's get greedy. So we're going to try the Kami of Transience. Now, what we need to be concerned about here is turn 3 removal. Turn 3 removal really sucks. Because, yeah, we're up against mono white, so we know Brutal Cathar exists in mono white. And now we also have the issue of Thalia too, so... everything just got a little bit more expensive. We can't do the turn 3 Kami of Transience Hammerhand now. But that turn 3 removal is pretty scary. I'd rather the Visitor go under exile than the Kami of Transience. How do you guys feel about that? It's a little bit Yeah, the turn 2 Thalia from the opponent really kind of messes with a great hand here, but I don't know. I think it was still that over the Kami of Transience. Because the Kami of Transience gets gobbled up by the Cathar regardless. So that's what I would think. And they have the 3 mana for, yeah, Brutal Cathar. Okay. So hopefully we get to see some of our removal too. The old 1, 2, 3 from the opponent is relatively terrifying. So I think we're going to start plugging the counters into the Transients, get the Visitor down after. So this will be a 3-3, so at least it can block Thalia. And now we just got to worry about a second Brutal Cathar, I would say. Now I do know, like Valor, yeah, second Brutal Cathar. Oh no, guys. Oh no. All right, well, I'm tempted to block here. This is 6 damage. That is a huge amount of damage. We get a 2-2 next turn from Etching. We can drop this as a 2-2 as well. Everything's so expensive in our hand. There's a... Yeah, alright, we're going to take the 6 because Visitor can still buff us pretty well. We really need to see some of our Kami's Flare, but we don't want to rely on it either, so... The Hammerhand can drop. We got to save blockers back. I think I'm going to play the Devastator as a 3-3 just for more blockers. We don't want it to switch to Night by any means too, so no matter what, we're playing something this turn. Could have been Curse of Hospitality as well, get Etching up to 3. I don't know. I think just extra blockers at this point because, like, they could drop an Adeline full swing and have another 1-1 swinging into. If they full swing into this board, though, then we get to gobble up some of those Brutal Cathars. In this case, like, blocking the Thalia, like, the first strike on the Thalia is pretty good, and we don't want to get the Devastator up to, like... Oh, they pass it to Night. Oh, that's scary. That's scary business. Woo, buddy. So we don't want to send it back today. They want to send it back today, gobble up more of our board. How do we want to do this, guys? I guess Curse of Hospitality is pretty good, and yeah, we want to be careful about the whole Valorous Stance business. So if we go Curse of Hospitality, we will buff the Etching to a 3-3. We swing in the air and start... Man, oh, that's brutal. Ah, man. I want to play cards from the opponent's deck, but we only have 1 mana this turn. I'm trying to think what 1 mana card could we hit. Hotshot Mechanic and then the other 1-drop that Mono White plays. Hopeful Initiate. I guess we save blockers. Yeah, we're at 8. These have been uphill battles, guys. It's like, what could we fear the most from the opponent? Oh, Guardian of New Benelia. Oh, a couple of them. Wow. Okay, they're gonna gobble everything up. It's bad. It's bad, guys. It's not looking great. The Brutal Cathar is brutal. The Kami's Flare would have been super ideal. But yeah, now they just full swing and it's pretty much over. Make sure you target your Visitor with the +1 counter. And let's go ahead and make it so that one of these can't block. It doesn't matter, we're not swinging. Because just maybe, yeah, last turn, we were really betting on them not having 2 cards to play, which is a pretty bad bet to take when they had 4 mana, so... Yeah, the couple Brutal Cathars, yeah, buff the whole board. Oh, man. Oh, you can see why everyone's rocking the meat hooks, guys. Couple uphill battles, but I still have a lot of confidence in the deck. I do. I think that the opponents got a little bit lucky. Or we got unlucky. Or I built an unbalanced deck that doesn't draw well. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll play more matches and find out. Oh, good game, opponent. No! No, I was busy talking. I'm sorry. I didn't get to drop my favorite emote. Well, onwards to the next one. Let's see if we can see something a little better. I wonder if going down to 22 land is something to consider. And going up the... Yeah, there's a Kami's Flare. I guess we should probably keep this hand. A couple Hammerhands with the Gatekeeper, but Gatekeeper's the only creature, so... Hello, opponent. We don't get hellos every day, so it's nice to see. I guess getting roaring, I don't know why that's hard for me to say. I guess getting Earth down is fine. Now it's okay to see more land deck. Now it's fine if we see more. Oh, okay, no, that's cool too. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I really don't want to play the Gatekeeper. I really don't. We should try, but now, like, make disappear. This is probably going to be reinforcements this turn. Since we're not doing the make disappear. Oh, Spectral Adversary. Nice. Okay. Well, we do have Kami's Flare, but we're going to try that on the opponent's turn. Let them counter it, and maybe we can get our creature down safely. Hopefully we see a land off the top, too. Yeah, awkward draws this evening. It might just happen to be like the whole, you know, it's Magic the Gathering, so expect it, you know? Okay. Kumano's not terrible. I'd rather play that than the Gatekeeper for the turn, for the time being. That being said, gobbling up the Make Disappear off the Gatekeeper could be good too. Okay, Kami of Transience. Yeah, I guess this is going to be a game where we don't see land. We're going to try the Kami of Transience again over the Gatekeeper. Some removal. Rona's Vortex. Very nice. That gets rid of the counter. Cathar Commando. Oh my goodness. That's a pretty sick card to be running right now, actually. Flash works well with the style of deck that they're playing, and then also there's tons of artifacts and enchantments to hit with this. Yeah, now we're not seeing land, guys. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I guess some games you flood, some games you don't. The Interceptor, that bounces it back to hand, right? Nice. I actually really like the opponent's deck. It's something we don't get to see every day. We actually have to save this back as a blocker because we're getting obliterated right now. I love the Commando's such a good card to have in there. That's so sick. They're like, by the way, this is an unacceptable trade. We're gonna go ahead and kill that etching. Hey, land, let's go. Wait. 4 mana. Let's try the Kami of Transience first. Because it's not like the... Oh, no, guys. We're getting wrecked. Hey, good game, opponent. I do appreciate the opponent's deck. You have to target. Yeah, good game. Let's get the emote ready. Didn't see the land that time. I do wonder if we did see the land, if we would have been able to compete with a deck that's that scary. It's like, so it's a bunch of flash creatures. They probably did have reinforcements in there. Looks like they had a Tenacious Underdog too. Just a really cool Esper build. Very scary though, my goodness. Well, 25% total win rate for the deck so far. The draws have been horrendous, guys. The draws have been really bad, but the opening hands haven't been that bad, so I feel like we're getting unlucky, and maybe it's not the deck right now. Maybe I don't know. More testing, guys. More testing's required. Let's see if we can actually just like get like a normal game. We see a good amount of land, but not too much land. This is a terrific hand. Terrific hand, guys. This is so good. Let's see if this is just going to be like a normal match. Okay, Kami of Transience comes down. We got Kodama ready for next turn. Excuse me. I gotta stop treating the pain lands like Thran Portal. Thran Portal, no matter when you tap it, you take damage, but you can tap this for a colorless without taking damage, and I've kind of been like making sure I get other mana out first, because I'm playing it kind of like Thran Portal. So we do get a ramp off of the Kami of Transience too. So this is way too much land again, guys. Like, what on earth is going on? We could drop to 22, but then look at that last game, guys. We were stressing looking for that third. At least Crucible like has the channel ability, so we could go up another channel land maybe. Maybe. I know some people like to rock the double Who Endures, which could be pretty cool. It's definitely going to get you every once in a while though, where you need that other land to be on the board, but then it's legendary, so it definitely gets you sometimes. Azure as a blocker, huh? Another land. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead. Full swing. Because we gotta go before they get lifelink on the board. And we get to thin out the deck once again, and we will go ahead and grab another green, because it doesn't really matter. We have a lot of red in hand too. So opponent's at 5, so the second they get lifelink on this board is going to be, yeah, it's going to be the flash lifelink card. Another Kodama. Very awkward draws, guys, very awkward. So they're going to grab the Kami of Transience. You could do this as an instant, right? In addition to its other types, and has a base power toughness each equal to its mana value. Yeah, I think you can do that as an instant. So they're gonna gain 6, block the Kodama. Yeah, they're gonna take Kami of Transience, block the Kodama. We have another Kodama. Well, they might take. Guys, I think we just lost somehow. All right, here goes nothing. We gotta try it. We have to. There's not a lot of options if we let them run away with this game, because we might be playing around a ghost that isn't there. Uh-oh. Wandering Emperor. Take the Kami of Transience. See? That's not as bad as what I was thinking. So that's, yeah, that's not bad. The big problem here is we can't play the other Kodama now. So they did gain a little bit there. Wow. Yeah, the land has been something else, but if we drop to 22 and you can't see your third, at 3 is where you can start to get a lot more mana with Kodama and stuff, and that's situational. 100% situational. Zur can now successfully block Etching, and we are still probably wanting to play around the 6 mana removal spell, which will cost 2, right? They have blue, black, red, blue, black, white. Yes, they don't have green. Oh no, another land, guys. There's no way. Dude. Oh my goodness. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Okay, well. We still gotta try it, man. We still got to. I don't see a lot of other options here. Eventually they're gonna want to remove the Kodama because Zur only blocks Etching properly, and this is 4 damage to face. So it's probably removal. What is this? What is this? They gained life there too. It has Flash. It's 4 mana. Exile up to 1 target non-land permanent an opponent controls. You gain 2 life. Huh. This is the first time I'm seeing this in a Zur deck, and it's actually really good. So we're going to take the damage. They go back up to 9 here. They're keeping 3 open. Let's see what we draw, because we could get like a Devastator and maybe they don't have the removal. Oh, if we draw a Devastator, they do not have the removal. They go, oh, okay, yep, get a blocker. Oh, dude, Devastator off the top would be insane. Oh my goodness, guys. Well, I guess it's just one of those days, guys. I guess it's just one of those days. Another land. We have 10 of our land right here. There is unfortunately 13 more land in the deck, so that's probably gonna be a good chance to draw it again. They're gonna go back up to 13, so our Devastator's gonna get out of the range, or they're gonna get out of the range of a Devastator. We will chump on the ground here this time round because we're getting dangerously low. Down to 6. We would have been down to 2 there. They draw. We get a land. Okay, well, maybe it is the deck, guys. We'll swing at Wandering Emperor. We'll make sure to get them the good game, and we have a quest today where we have to attack with creatures, and you never know if the opponent has that incredibly annoying quest as well. So, yeah, good game, opponent, and drop the favorite emote. Just, you know, 20% win rate, we're fine. Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. We actually had a really great opening hand there. We had a pretty great start. Like, the opponent got down to 5 and everything. They had, like, the lifelink. They were ready to go up against aggro. We're going to try to squeeze one more, guys. If it ends up being too long at this rate, we might as well give it to the opponent. So just a heads up there. But we'll try to make it a fast one. I actually still have a lot of confidence with the deck. I think it just happens to be one of those days. But yeah, four land in the opener. You know what? I'm keeping it. We're fine. No creature for the Roaring Earth, so even the channel ability on the Roaring Earth would have been good. Man, we're drawing really bad today, aren't we, huh? Yeah, it's not every day, because usually I'm like, oh man, maybe it was the deck, maybe it was me. I don't know, guys. I don't know about this one. If you already have the cards for this one and you end up trying it out, let me know if you drew better. It might honestly be one of those days. Opponent goes first here too. Maybe we shouldn't keep this, guys. Let's see what the mulligan looks like. Oh, see, this is actually much better. So we're gonna go no on the turn 1. So let's ditch one Hammerhand. Ah, it's so good though. Let's ditch the Gatekeeper. Let's keep the double Hammerhands because it's so good with the Generous Visitor and the Kami of Transience. Evolved Sleeper, huh? Okay. We don't have a guaranteed turn 2, but we do have the Hammerhand on turn 2. So maybe we'll draw an untapped land anyways. Let's attempt the Visitor. My initial thought was no turn 1, let's get the Rockfall Vale down and ready to go for next turn, and then do 2 things next turn. But at this rate, I don't know, we might find an untapped land first of all. Okay, so maybe now it's just Kami of Transience and sit. Start with the swing, because this could be a cut down, and I'd rather, well, I guess I'd rather the Kami of Transience get cut down, I suppose, since it can come back when the Hammerhands die. Not a bad hand, guys, at all. Like, the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker is a great draw, too. Gonna power up the Sleeper. Concealing Curtains, great blocker. We're gonna take the 3 down to 14. We could just drop some Hammerhands and go crazy here. But if we're a little bit more patient, they're probably going to power up Concealing Curtains, though, and take my Fable. I'd rather them just take one of the Hammerhands. Let's get Kami of Transience to the point where it can swing successfully here. Get it above the cut down range, too. It's a tough decision because double Hammerhand is very aggressive, but if we can actually successfully do it on a better board state here with a Goblin too, then like that's just really good. So Infernal Grasp exists in these decks, Cut Down exists, just powering up Concealing Curtain wouldn't be too bad for us because yeah, double Hammerhand, they hit one of them, we draw a card, and we still have the other one to make it so that way it can't block. Another thing, Sheoldred could come down. Liliana, we're going to ditch the Goblin. I think Generous Visitor, like the buff, is too good to pass. Still could be a cut down, though. Keep the curtains as a blocker. We can ditch this extra land off of Fable, which is something we need to talk about, too. Fable could have helped us trade out a lot of those land. We just weren't seeing it, though. Very weird. Very awkward hands, very weird draws. Another Generous Visitor. Holy cow, guys. Right, so I'm going to decline. Wait, 1, 2. Oh, yeah, we could take a damage off of this and play everything. Let's see what we hit. Let's see what we hit. Another Kami of Transience. Wow. Okay, Generous Visitor. But how do we want to do this? Because we want to not perish. That's a start. We're going to swing with Generous Visitor at the Liliana regardless. Let's give this Visitor haste. So how do I want to do this? Power. I don't think we have enough damage here, do we? Oh, that is 9. This can't block 10. Maybe we just full swing at face, guys. Take the 1 damage. Power. So that's 12, 13. You can't block. 14. So 13 at opponent's face. Take out the Liliana, right? Down to 2. Almost there. Very close, guys. The opponent could win this turn too, though, so we'll see. We'll see, right? Power up Curtain. Discard the Kami of Transience. That's 6 on the board. They need 4 more with 5 mana. We do have enchantments and creatures, so an Invoke Despair doesn't get that 4 damage through. Soren's pretty good. That's pretty good, guys. But we do have Trample on the Kami of Transience, so if they don't have removal for that, then I think the Trample gets us there. They're going to gain 2, back up to 4. I think we still just full swing here. Even with our 1/1. Because, yeah, the Trample, guys, yeah. Like, they got to do something about the Trample, and then they're going to take the rest of the damage from the visitors, so... I think we ended on a high note. The Swamp might mess us up, though. I don't know what they could possibly have. Yeah, there we go, guys! Alright, that's what the deck was supposed to do, a little bit. Taking on Mono Black. That was a pretty fun last match, guys. 33%, 4 losses in the middle there, which... were very bizarre, honestly. Now, the opponents played them very well, too, so, you know, you guys be the judge. Is it our build? Did we draw poorly? Maybe I wasn't playing it out correctly, but honestly, I am a little bit more used to these style of builds, so hopefully I played them well. And, or better than in my recent days of making these... making these videos. There have been a couple decks that I definitely needed to practice more with, but here's the deck list again, guys. Let's double check land. Yep, 23. Okay, yeah. I don't think I would touch the land, but if you keep flooding out like I was flooding out, then dropping down to 22 is something to consider. If you drop to 22, you could go up a Shivan Devastator. That could be cool. Going up to a 4th Kami's Flare would be pretty good too. You're going to want to see removal, especially if you're seeing the same decks that I'm seeing right now. So that's something to consider, going up to 4 of these. I think that Roaring Earth was cool. I think Curse of Hospitality was neat, but we didn't get to do a lot with it. It's a neat card in general. We just didn't get to see it do a lot today, unfortunately. I would still... I would probably drop Roaring Earth down to 2. Maybe 22 land, 2 Roaring Earth, go up a Devastator, go up a Kami's Flare, because they're just so good. As far as like our honorable mentions earlier, I think some of the best cards that you could consider, I mean, unfortunately, at least 1 Hallandale. It's just so powerful, guys. But then if you go up a Hallandale, that is a 4-mana card, so you go up a couple of those, then you probably don't want to drop that land, and you'd probably want to rearrange it a little bit differently. And at that point, if you're going the whole Hallandale route, then you might as well just make this modified instead of enchantments, and at that point, it starts to lose the spirit of the deck just a little bit. So it depends. Yeah, if you want to make it better, then you just want to look at different Gruul builds is the thing, I would say. Other than that, if you guys have any ideas to make this Gruul enchantment list a little better, let me know in the comments. Recently, I've been having this weird bug with the comment section. I looked it up. I'm not the only one. Some comments aren't showing up until like a couple days later. It's very weird. I have no idea what that means. And then some of them aren't showing up at all. I have to like actually search for them. Either way, I thought I'd bring that up just in case, but if it continues to persist, then I'll let everyone on Discord know that I might not be seeing some comments or something, but I'm sure they'll get it fixed in no time. Either way, guys, hey, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.